It is the Flow Friday Sports Show here on Flow FM, and it's time to investigate the latest happenings of the Hume Netball Association. We're talking A-grade results and fixtures with our resident expert, Carla Fletcher. Good to be with you again, Carla. How was your week off? Did you, get all re-energised again for a big second half of the season?
Yeah, no, a couple of weeks ago we had that bye and, now we were back into it last weekend. So, yeah, it was definitely nice to have a week off and recharge and, have a think about what's coming up in the next few rounds.
Yes, well, I think everyone will agree that Sally Hunter did her very best to match your efforts, the Osborne A-grade coach. Good to have you back, though, in any case, Carla, and a lot happening, but some pretty plain sailing results across the weekend. We'll start with Culcan. They got over the line against the Billabong Crows. We probably predicted this one, but I'm not sure whether you expected Culcan to have it a bit easier.
Yeah, no, look, it's fantastic. Culcan have just jumped back into the top six. They had a great start against the Crows last weekend. And obviously they've had a few out over the last 3 or 4 weeks, but I think most of their girls were back on deck. They'd be pretty pleased with the win that they had on the weekend. And in saying that, the Crows were pretty disappointed with their loss. They allowed the Culcan shooters, Olivia Brunner and Andrea Wentz, to convert on have any turnovers and convert in the goal circle on any of the Crows' mistakes. Best on for the Crows went to Holly Dowling, who worked really hard in defence. And one of the young players, Isabel Bush, who's come up from the 17s last year. She's having a really strong a few games, and it's looking like she's going to be keeping that top spot up in A grade. So well done to Isabel Bush in wing defence.
There we have it. CDHBU, they were stung at home by the Brocklesby Burrumbuttock Saints. What did you make of this result? 39-47, the final score there.
Yeah, look, it was a good win from the Saints girls. It was a pretty competitive first half. CDHBU went into the game at half time and they were 4 goals up. But some changes by the Saints girls, they let them back into the game. And, I'm sure the BB Saints will be really pleased with their efforts on the weekend. Their awards went to their defence lineup of Jemima Dunstan, Rachel Kaczynski and Brittany Williams, and also Michaela Trebson had a really good game in the centre. CDHBU, their best players were Shelby Richardson in centre, goal shooter Rosie Dye and Rebecca Cusack in goal defence.
There we go. We will move along and talk about the Lockhart girls going down to Howlong. Pretty easy afternoon for Howlong in the end, Carla.
Yeah, it was. Look, Howlong are a pretty good side and they moved the ball really quickly down the court and, they got the ball into the goal ring and their shooters just shooted consistently throughout the whole game. However, Lockhart were only 3 down at quarter time, but, the Howlong girls just put their foot down and, they've come away with a pretty good win. Lockhart's defence worked really hard all game trying to shut down Howlong's goal attack, Jess Lane down, but she was just dominant there in the attack end. And Hannah Keeley came away with the mug, and along with Carly Pearce having a good game, and Maddie Robinson and Sarah Anderson also playing strong games for Lockhart in the attack. But Sam Way, Howlong's goalkeeper, and Kirby McDonald in the centre, they were all best players for Howlong.
All right, let's talk about Osborne. Now, we did have Sally Hunter on the show last week, replacing you for that 1 week. And we spoke about this game and I guess, that little bit of a different scenario where you're going into a game against a side that's been struggling all season long. So how do you really approach that game? Well, Sally said what she said, but ultimately when you get out to a point where the score's blown out to a fair sort of, comfortable margin, what happens then with this Osborne side through your perspective? Are they that ruthless that they would have just kept pumping Henty all the way, or do you think they would have applied some mercy at some point?
Oh, look, it's really interesting. Like, Henty were only down by a goal at quarter time, and, I think Henty really capitalised on the fact that Louise Madden and Cypress Clay were absent for Osborne on the weekend. But look, it's just amazing how much depth they've got in their club. they had a couple of B graders in Brianna O'Connell and Grace Kennedy step up, and they're obviously working really hard. They're all wanting to get into this A grade side, so whenever they've got the opportunity, they're really going to step up on the court when they get a chance. And look, I think Osborne just had a brilliant second quarter. They won that 19-2, and that just put them back on track, and it was just a really great team effort in the end. And Bridie Willis took home their award, and the coach's award went to the whole team for really working hard with the absence of those two key players. Erin Hogan for Henty, she won their most valuable player, and Jada Murphy also stepped up from the under-17s, and she also won an award against the really strong Osborne shooters. But I think it looks like Osborne's really put it on there in the last half of the game, 81-30. It's a great score considering they were down two key players.
Over in Urana, Jindera getting it done against the Murray Magpies, 36-19. But would you have some concerns for Jindera's lack of ability? It seems to come out at the full time end of the game with a high score, because again, they've been limited to a fairly sort of humble score in the end, just converting 36 in the end against Murray Magpies, who finished with 19. So, what do you make of that quickly, Carla?
Yeah, look, I think they were also down two key players. Two of their shooters were away for the weekend. I'm not sure if they were away or just out with injury. So they had a little bit of swapping around to do, Jindera, and so the Magpies really contested the ball well for the first half of the game. And once again, Jindera brought on their one of their B-grade players in Jess Guy. She came up and started shooting and slotted in really well. So they were really pleased with their second half. Their circle work around the ring worked really hard, and they had a really composed midcourt. Chelsea Harper, Ellen Cook and Tamika Wululan. They were best players for Jindera, with Jessica Black, Laura Kieran and Kieran Nicholson were award winners at the Magpies. But I think Jindera will be looking at trying to sort out their combinations when they've got a few players missing. So I'm sure Tegan will have that all in hand.
Giants undercooked at home against Holbrook, 21-39, the final score. Holbrook could still come away with something this season as far as getting into that top six and maybe surprising one or two in the latter stages of the finals. It's not impossible at all, and you might back them given some of the results that they've attained this season, Carla.
Yeah, look, they're sitting in fifth position, so they've had some really good, wins over the last few weeks, and the first quarter was a really tough quarter. There was only 2 goals in it, but then Holbrook gained some momentum in the second and third quarter, and they really converted all their turnovers, and they just proved too strong for Giants and didn't let them get back into the game. A highlight for the Giants team in the last quarter, they had both Hallie and Priya Colhagen taking the court in A grade together for the first time, so that's a really nice for the club to see some of the young girls coming up together. Their best players were Ebony Williams, Brianna Higgins and Stephanie Biden-Webster, and Holbrook's best were Jodie Ross-Smith in goal shooter, Jess Rowe in the centre and Chloe Hamblin in wing attack, and Holbrook are really pleased. It's a great team effort from them. So they'll be looking to get some more wins on the board and stay up there in the top 6.
No doubt they will. Let's take a look at that ladder quickly. You did mention it earlier in this segment, but it looks as though we are starting to see some movement whereby we might have a few sides emerging who could break the barrier of that top 2. So Osborne first, Jindera second, Howlong third, Billabong Crows in 4th, Holbrook 5th and Culcairn in 6th. How does it all come across to you, Carla? Do you see any big movers and shakers happening across the next few weeks at all?
Yeah, look, in the last half of the season, some of those teams down the bottom, if they're not playing those top teams, some of them only get to play them once. So they might cause some upsets. And, those teams hanging in, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th spot are going to have to really work hard every week, especially when they're playing each other or anyone lower, just to keep their points going on the ladder, because anyone can just slide in there. It just depends on the luck of the draw.
Sure does, and we love it that way. Let's take a look at the fixtures for this weekend, Carla, and there's plenty to be excited about tomorrow. So we're looking at round 10, and we've got Osborne. They're at home to Lockhart. You're going to be pretty brave if you're going to tip against the home side here, Carla.
Yeah, look, it's always a tough game against, but when both teams play Osborne and Lockhart, and they're close neighbours, so both teams will be, going out there for the win. But look, I think the way that Osborne's playing at the moment, they're just putting the pressure across the whole court, moving the ball so quickly. I think they'll come away with the win.
Crows will be looking at a prime opportunity to get back in the winner's circle, Carla.
Yes, definitely. They were pretty disappointed after last weekend, but that's not taking anything away from Colcam. But I think they should, take the points against Henty on the weekend.
Jindera, they'll be at home to the Giants, and like we said, they'll be looking at that percentage more than likely and wanting to really flex their muscles in front of goal, you would think and hope, if you're a Jindera fan, Carla.
Yeah, and as I said before, they'll be looking to focus on their attacking combinations leading into the second half of the season. But I think, they're pretty strong. They're a pretty strong team, and they know what they need to do. So I think they'll just be too strong for the Giants on the weekend.
Can the Saints upset Colcan? They're at home, so you'd think maybe Brocklesby Burrumbuttock at the Brocklesby Recreation Ground, they might have a chance here to, really make some sort of impact on the ladder with Colcan sort of floating in and around that top six.
Yeah, look, both teams are really playing well, and and it looks like Colcan are back in form, and they've got a full list of players. So I think they'll. George will be wanting the girls to just keep continuing with the win, and she won't want to lose that sixth spot. So she'll be working hard, and it'll be a great game to watch, actually.
Sure will. Let's keep taking a look at some of these fixtures. Another team that'll have to really roll their sleeves up this week is CDHBU. They're on the road to Holbrook, and again, you'd be pretty brave to tip against the home side here, considering Holbrook's form of late.
Yeah, look, and Holbrook been playing some great matches, and so have CDHBU. So it's going to be a really interesting game, and it's the live stream game by All In Sports. So it'll be a good one to jump on there and have a look and watch. But yeah, I think Holbrook, they're on a pretty solid way at the moment. So I think it might be a close game, but I'm tipping Holbrook.
You'd also have to think that in the last game we discussed how long they'll just be too good for the Murray Magpies at home, especially, Carla.
Oh, yeah, look, they move the ball so quickly, and their shooters are accurate, and they just punish anyone that makes a mistake. So I think they'll be working hard. How long? And they're quite achievers, I think, and I think they should account for the Magpies on the weekend.
I think most people are going to agree with that. Carla Fletcher, great to have your thoughts and insights once again, and really hoping that you get to enjoy yourself this weekend and unwind and just enjoy some good netball. We'll speak to you next week. All the best.
Oh, thanks, Alice. You have a great weekend, and good luck to everyone who's participating in our interleague against Tallangatta on the weekend. The day kicks off around 9:30, and a big thank you to everyone involved, especially our interleague coordinator, Amy Riley. Thanks, Ella.